Hey everyone, we are Leen and Wim, a couple from Belgium. Last summer we set out on a crazy adventure, cycling all the way from Belgium to Croatia. We biked 1,600 kilometers through 7 countries, and with every border the journey changed. We rode under burning sun and into cold, relentless rain. We climbed mountains we hadn't planned for and fixed bikes we didn't expect to break. Some days tested our bodies, others pushed our minds. Each night brought a new place to rest and a story worth telling. Belgium to Croatia, 20 days and one unforgettable road. This is not just a journey, this is our journey, and it's only just begun. Because the tent was pitched on a gentle slope, the whole night felt as if we'd been sleeping in a slow-motion slide. By morning, our toes were glued to the back wall, while the front suddenly offered ballroom-sized floor space. I had no idea our tent was this spacious, Wim says as he clambers back up the incline like someone ascending a playground slide. We throw one last glance at the Wagersee. Nessie refuses to make a farewell appearance. No ripple across the water, no rustling reeds, not even the crunch of a creature enjoying breakfast, as if she never existed at all. Did we imagine her, a playful trick of light at sunset? Or perhaps Nessie simply knows exactly when to vanish, the way only true mythical beings do. We have barely spun the first few meters when excitement sprints ahead of us like an over-eager tour guide. A full day of cycling through the vast Augsburg-Westliche Wälder awaits, that big green triangle we spotted on the map yesterday. And now, before we've even warmed up, the park's first gentle rises are already rolling out under our wheels, as if bowing to welcome us. The scenery starts shifting in slow motion. Open farmland softens into rippling hills, the forest edges lean in a little closer, and every now and then a cheerful little stream pops up beside us, the hydrological equivalent of someone jogging along to say hi before veering off again. Then we spot him. A lone stork meandering through the grass with the nonchalant swagger of someone out for a lazy Sunday stroll. Pure theater. Without warning he snaps forward, a surgical strike into the greenery. No clue what he caught, but the smug tilt of his head suggests it was worth the ambush. Wim swears there's a cool shimmer drifting out of the forest, a kind of natural air conditioning wafting our way, and honestly I'm inclined to believe him. The Augsburg-Westliche Wälder have that reputation. This is one of those places where the trees don't just provide shade, they actively conspire against heat. A vast patchwork of beech, oak and spruce quietly doing what forests have always done best, keeping their cool and making the rest of the world feel slightly overdressed. The park isn't dramatic in a postcard sort of way. No jagged peaks, no roaring waterfalls demanding applause. Instead, it works on you slowly, soft hills and endless green paths. It's the kind of place where Romans once marched, monks once wandered, and now modern cyclists roll through, sweating happily and pretending not to notice how good they have it. Even on a day like this, when the sun is clearly overachieving, the forest breathes out a steady leafy calm, enough to make us linger a little longer, long enough, in fact, to start thinking about food. At the bakery, we intend to grab a quick pastry, something to eat while riding. Inside, however, we discover you can get a latte macchiato and drink it in the tiny courtyard behind the shop. Too tempting, we stay. The bakery dog lies sprawled in the shade as if he has melted there. Only after a long while does he lift his head. Then he ambles toward us, receives his strokes as though it is an official part of the cafe experience, and sinks down at my feet with a sigh that feels like a heat wave exhaling. Deep in the nature reserve, we stumble upon something peculiar, a birdhouse, or so it seems, but it can be opened and, of course, we do. No birds inside, instead a miniature bar with tiny bottles of spirits free for anyone passing by. A brilliant surprise. Shame that every bottle is already empty. Oh well, it's not really aperitif time anyway.
Zijn ze allemaal op?
Ja.
Aperitif time perhaps not, but lunchtime definitely. Sitting at the edge of an asphalt road with a view that forgives everything, I pulled 2 pretzels from my pannier. I bought them earlier at the bakery. Pretzels, you know, those quintessential German knotted breads with a firm crust and coarse grains of salt. Legend has it a monk invented them as a reward for children who knew their prayers. Whether true or not, they taste heavenly today. Somewhere along the way the forest starts giving ground, not in one clean break but bit by bit. Fewer trees, more sky, fields slipping back into view as if they'd been waiting their turn. After hours of riding between trunks and leaves, we are suddenly leaving the nature reserve. I notice I am disappointed, which catches me slightly off guard. This place suited me. The climbs made sense, the air stayed cooler, the kilometers passed without much resistance. I wouldn't have minded staying longer, but the route keeps going and so do we. We pass a small wooden hut with a giant strawberry painted on the wall. That can only mean one thing: strawberries for sale. The man explains that we pick them ourselves. We walk between the rows of fragrant plants like seasoned farmers, selecting the plumpest berries, twisting them gently from their stems, filling our little crate. Back at the hut, the man weighs our harvest, €1.50 for a box of pure summer. We could save them for later, but the temptation is too great. We sit on the bench by the hut and eat them right there. For tonight I have booked a little house with a swimming pool, because in this sort of heat you dream of cool water. We had already imagined ourselves in swimwear at dusk, ready for a refreshing dip. What we did not expect was that the house would be in the middle of an industrial zone, not just near it, right in its metallic heart. The pool is boxed in by metal fences, no garden, no flowers, no sweeping views, just containers, stacked building materials and knee-high weeds. It feels a bit like taking a holiday on a construction site. And then there are the dogs, 6 Alaskan Malamutes neatly enclosed behind even more fences. When we pass by, they erupt into a short but vigorous chorus of barking. Just as quickly, silence returns, as if it's more ritual than rage. By evening, I have befriended 2 of them. They come to sniff, allow a brief stroke. The others keep their distance. Their eyes rest on me for a second and drift away, as if they are weighing me, but withholding the verdict. It isn't the paradise I imagined when booking, and yet we are enjoying ourselves thoroughly. Between the fences, the scrap and the weeds, there's a barbecue on which we pile far too much meat, a pool that offers just enough relief, and a view so spectacularly ugly that we are starting to grow fond of it. It's absurd, the place we ended up in, and precisely that's what makes it fantastic. A kind of beauty in camouflage.
Met een zwembroek door dit industrieterrein is gewoon een prachtig zicht.